Now, since the full leg cast has been replaced with the lower leg cast, this will allow movement at the knee, and it will also allow early hip and quad exercises to be performed. So the cast now will only cover the lower leg in the knee to the ankle. In terms of treatments are very similar. Soft tissue massage remains present but unimportant. Cryotherapy and thermotherapy remain there as pain relief measures. Acupuncture and cupping again are not relevant for this part. Acupuncture was obviously important to reduce swelling, but since swelling must have subsided by towards the end of the second month, it will not be as relevant anymore. Taping will increase in importance due to the fact that the cast is only half the size now, and the support will be very useful. Flexibility training remains the same up until the start of the third month, and strength training will start to increase gradually as the bone strength does also increase. Moving on to stage 3, strengthening exercises. The goal in these parts are to improve the bone strength and improve the movement and range of movement. So cryotherapy is stated here as a focus, and the reason for this is it will help improve pain boundaries. Underwater movement, in order to take the weight off the damaged area, it will allow the athlete to start their movement process without having to put too much weight on the actual damaged area, which will be beneficial. This will help improve bone strength overall. Soft tissue massage is increased in importance in this part. So deep tissue massage also becomes relevant. This will mainly be used to help prevent muscular atrophy. Cryotherapy and thermotherapy again are present as pain reduction measures. Acupuncture and cupping from here until the end of the rehab program are no longer important, so I won't mention them from now on. Taping will be very important in this part as a support method, helping to reduce the workload on the damaged areas. Flexibility training is also important. Loss of range of movement, especially for a footballer of professional standard, would be very detrimental to his performance, so we wouldn't want that occurring at any circumstance. Strength training also increasing in importance as the bone strength does increase. This will help prevent loss of strength in the muscles in the legs. Eccentric loading exercises, weighted stretches, low to high reps. This will be done to increase strength in the muscles, help prevent muscular degradation, and also increasing bone strength as well, as the eccentric loading will help with weight bearing. Lateral movements and directional changing drills will be introduced midway through the 4th month, and this will be done to increase movement speed, help improve range of movement, and also, as well as the eccentric loading, help develop the bone strength. Soft tissue massage is now decreasing in importance as the legs will begin to be used again more frequently. This will reduce the risk of muscular degradation. Deep tissue massage will be done for regenerative purposes in case the muscle had degraded prior. That's why it went from low importance to higher importance now. Cryotherapy is decreasing in importance as the pain thresholds and the pain that the athlete will be in from the injury will have decreased quite drastically since the start of the program. Movement changing drills done to improve sharpness, range of movement. Taping is becoming very important at this point, probably the peak of its importance, because these movement drills are pretty much brand new and they haven't been done for months prior. So increasing the support done for the damaged area will be very, very important. Flexibility training, again, very important. As I stated before, it would be very detrimental to lose range of movement for a footballer. Strength training, again, getting more and more important as the time goes on. So moving on to the final part of the rehab program, which is the sport-specific training in months 5 and 6. So resistance exercises, medium weight, low rep. The reason I stated this was because if you go off with a high weight, there's always that risk of contraindication, and that would be very demoralizing towards the end of the program if there were a relapse. So soft tissue massage, getting less and less important as time goes on. The chances of degradation are low at this point. Deep tissue massage will be nice and continues to increase in importance. Cryotherapy and thermotherapy getting lower and lower and lower, just because the pain threshold will be higher and there'll be less and less discomfort as time goes on. And since the training will be done from this point onwards, the athlete will likely get more and more comfortable with the movement. So this will get less and less important as time goes on. Probably towards the end, maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks, it will likely be completely out. Taping, less important at this point, because the bone strength will have increased, the muscles will have increased in density as well, probably quite quickly due to muscle memory if there was any degradation, so the weight bearing will be a lot more bearable. Flexibility, this point is very, very important, because you'll have the ability to train your flexibility. So if there was any loss of flexibility or, loss of range of movement in any joints or anything similar to this, then you now have the ability to improve it. Strength training will be the same way. If there is a loss of strength, then it can be worked on now without the worry of re-injury. Speed and power training are introduced at this point. Drills must maintain a moderate to high intensity, and that's linked to what I just stated about flexibility and strength. They can be worked on, so they will be worked on in order to get back to the original sharpness and match capability of the athlete. And finally, there's incorporating and including strength, speed and agility drills into game-specific activities. This will be done to guarantee that the athlete can reach the level that they were working at before the injury occurred. So they'll want to be able to do all the things they used to be able to do before the injury were to have happened. Obviously, having an injury negatively affect your career is very bad, especially when you're a player as young as Ramsey was when he got injured. I believe he was only in his very early 20s, maybe 2021 when he got the injury, so obviously that's not great news early on in your career. And it can be detrimental. Definitely, it can negatively affect a player, but it seems like Ramsey's actually improved as a result. It was probably the effort he went through in his rehab that made him do so, so well played to him. Obviously the reviews come in the same way as they would for the previous athlete. 2 weeks at the start to check how they are doing with the cast and after the surgery, if they're in any discomfort as a result. And then 3 weeks following, every 3 weeks. And this will just be done to check the progress of the athlete, see if there's anything on their mind. Testing anthropometry the same way as the previous athlete, see if there's any changes in body mass, body composition, and similar things. So in terms of goal setting, the short-term goals are very much to do with remodelling in the first phase and adjusting to the changes that will be a part of the lifestyle of the injury. So having the leg fully cast and reduced into the correct position will be the first short-term goal. Being used to walking with crutches will be the second. You won't be able to walk without crutches, at first anyway. And then the next one being changing from the full leg cast to the lower leg cast, the patella bound cast. Next, there's, alongside the medium-term goal, there's the knee bending exercises assigned by the physio to restore the strength of the quadricep, because the leg will have been static due to the full leg cast. So this will help to improve quadriceps strength, and the underwater movement links to the goal here, in that the climber will be expected to walk 100 meters without crutches underwater. So they'll remove the crutches here. The leg will be used underwater, so it won't be full weight bearing, but it'll be more so than had been done previously. So the weight bearing will slowly be increased as pain threshold increases. This will be backed up by the massages, the cryo and thermotherapy. This will help with the pain threshold. And by the end of by the start of the 4th month, you'll want to have around, if not full weight bearing by that point, so you can move into the lateral movements and the skill specific sports training without having to worry about not bearing your full weight on the damaged area. And moving into the final stage, the 5th month or so, it'll be advised to have an X-ray to check the improvement of the damaged leg, and this will be a motivational factor for the athlete as well. And then from here there'll be specific movement, 200 meters without crutches out of water, so this will be full weight bearing as stated in the previous goal, and hopefully a return to specific training drills alongside teammates. And the reason that alongside teammates will be important is because, again, it will be motivating for the athlete to be back where they feel like they belong, alongside their teammates, and they'll be guided through specific training drills in order to return to their original team position, which will be good. Moving on from here, maintaining the intensity of the rehabilitation, so make sure they don't slack as they get towards the end. They might think, okay, I'm better now, I'll be fine, I can lay off what the physio's told me to do. That's not the case. They should always follow the program all the way through. And jogging 200 meters out of water without the crutches, so full weight bearing on the damaged area. And then finally, a long-term goal would be increasing the intensity of the training drills that are carried out. So increasing what they are doing, making it more intense, more sharp, more snappy, in order to get back the intensity that they would have worked at prior. And the final parts of training are focusing on ankle and knee mobility, which could be negatively affected due to the lack of movement earlier on. I mean, there was a good 3 or 4 months where there was no movement whatsoever, so this will be a good thing to focus on. And the final goal, which will be in the 6th month, the final maybe 5 weeks or so, will be returning to full match training alongside teammates and returning to the team sheet in near future, which will be great for the athlete. And here we have the graph of the importance of treatments, and you can see how I've listed certain treatments for importance being up the side and the weaks being along the bottom, as with the last graph. You can see there are some things that go up and down, there are some things that go straight up, and there are some things that go straight down. This here being soft tissue massage going down, deep tissue massage starting off low and going up. Cryotherapy and thermotherapy remain somewhat static and work their way through the middle. They do go down towards the end, but for the most part they are quite static and remain in the graph. Cupping is at the bottom. This wasn't important. I didn't believe it would be relevant for a skeletal injury. Taping remains moderately important most of the way through. Strength training becomes the most important factor towards the end, as with flexibility. And that's essentially everything that I have to share regarding the rehabilitation programs. I hope that's been interesting to listen to, and hopefully following these training programs the athletes would be able to return to a form that they will be happy with, and they won't be affected too negatively by the injury, and their progress won't be hampered by it. So thank you for watching. That is the end of the assignment.